Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to the August 2022 energy update interpretation, my sense and feeling into the month of August that is coming up. Now, I'm Casey Knight. I am a creation coach, frequency mentor, and a guide for the visionary, luminary beings who are here to be the light and be the change. And the people that are going to resonate the most with my words are the way showers, the ones who are leading the charge and the revolution and the evolution of consciousness on this planet, working typically quite consciously towards the ascension and evolution of Gaia, Terra, this planet that we're on right now. And we are working together to illuminate everything that needs to shift and change right now, first in our internal world, and then it gets to be reflected externally. Now, time is funky these days and everything is going at various time frames and speeds. So you may be at one part of this while someone else is at another, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly divine. Take what resonates for you and please allow the rest to just be left behind. So when I tuned in to the energy of August, back about mid-July, what I immediately felt was polarity of experiences. And it's been like that for years now. So you might be asking me, Casey, what else is new? So much polarity. And it's just a really interesting time to be alive when two people on this planet can be in the same room and experiencing events so very differently. It's all right. You also might oscillate between two varying degrees of the experience. But for what really came up for me in August was sparkles on one side of the polarity spectrum and static on the other. And it was very much like this is the same spectrum, but one feels amazing and luminous and magical. And it's the sparkly, effervescent energy that is available and accessible to people who have basically a relaxed enough nervous system and who have processed enough of the trauma that has happened from being alive, including their ancestral trauma, to be able to feel these higher level frequencies as magical, beautiful things. For those who are not clear enough in their field, who have their shields up, and who are in that state of nervous system like excitation, when the sympathetic nervous system is activated, when they don't feel safe, it's going to feel like static. And it was very much like when I tuned to a TV channel when I was a kid, and there was no channel playing on air, and it would usually be like really loud static. And I was like, it just like assaulted my nervous system, and I was just like, oh, turn down the volume, change the channel, and it just like it was never a gentle experience. Like, oh, there's some TV static. This had the noise, and the noise felt very loud and overwhelming. That was the sensation, like all crinkly in my body when I was like, oh, this is how people are going to be experiencing the energy. It's going to be either overwhelming and too loud and too much, or if the channel is clear enough for the energy frequency to be experienced without it feeling overwhelming and like an attack, it's going to feel blissful, magical, sparkly, luminous, full of possibility and light, and people going, wow, I can tap into this frequency bandwidth that maybe I've never even experienced before. And this dichotomy will be absolutely wild for people to experience, because there are people that are going to be like, I'm having the best month of my life, and other people saying, this is the worst time I've ever been in. How can both of these be true at once? It is the experience of the energies that is dependent upon the body and how the body is able to process things, how clean and clear our emotional realm is. Do you have a lot of stuck, unprocessed emotions from I don't know, all of the massive cataclysmic world events, all of the things that have gone on in your life, in your childhood, in again your ancestry, your epigenetics. Do you have too much happening inside your field, or are you free and clear for things to run through you? So, as you might expect, living life on Earth, things are constantly coming into our fields and in our experience, and it's a constant process of going through and clearing things out and doing what we need to do to honor our bodies to be able to access the sparkles and the magic that do exist. It is real, though some people who are in the depths of the static will go, "You are delusional. Things are awful. They've never been worse." And to that person, from their place of perspective, this could be true. And then for you, you're like, what are you talking about? The realms that have opened up, the veil has lifted. We can connect with spirit in a way that we've never felt before. It's so real, it's so profound. I've felt those heartgasms, and I've also felt the static. And this polarity can play out in your day to day. You can oscillate from one to another. And the key is that alignment in the body. How are you going to experience this polarity? There are also some themes that have come up around this, the conscious decision to tune in to what is happening and fine tune our frequencies. And this is coming through so strongly. This is something that I have been cultivating for a long time on the personal level. My ability to fine tune my body as an antenna and a receiver and a transmitter of energies, but also my choice, the choices that I make day in, day out are what are creating this capacity. It's when I am feeling that heaviness, that ick, am I allowing myself to stay stuck in it? Or am I choosing to do the hard thing, the practices, the things that allow me to move the energy even when I don't feel like it? And there's also acknowledgement at this part of the journey. Sometimes it is too hard to do alone. And we require the connection. We require the support. We require the community because we get to experience this life as sovereign beings and we're coming into that power. But when we are connected in community, we are so much more resilient. So the isolation needs to shift into connection. But for some people, that doesn't feel safe, or they are not in places where they can connect. So this is what we are moving through, right? This whole passage of time is moving out of separation and isolation and the feelings of being alone and disconnected from everything into that higher frequency bandwidth where we understand and feel that we are all connected. So amplifying our power of choice to choose to fine tune and consciously cultivate our frequency. Because if you don't, your subconscious and your body are going to choose for you. Okay. Other themes that are arising as an invitation for healing, expansion, and exploration in the month of August that I was able to witness and that have been coming through in some of the other months as well. So, I mean, the energy waves don't begin at the 1st of August and end at the 30th. These are themes that may be waving through the month, but sensuality is a very powerful one for people who are wanting to be in that sparkle experience, right? Actually being present with the senses and diving into the present moment now experience and experiencing it for what it is and focusing on the pleasure. And I'm not talking about just, like romantic sensuality. I'm literally talking about the experience of feeling, a smooth rock in your hand and the coolness and feeling how that feels in your body and tuning in so presently to that. And the thing about being an overwhelm is we are so unable to tap into our senses in this way when we're in that overwhelm where we're feeling the static, but sometimes going deep into the senses and feeling and luxuriating in the scent of a flower or the taste of an orange And actually coming into full presence of this moment can be a healing portal for us to actually come out of the overwhelm and let our bodies know it is safe in this moment here, right? It's safe to experience pleasure. Pleasure is another one that is coming through so strongly for the people that I work with, the people that I know, to experience, because for many years it has not been deemed as safe to experience pleasure and to really enjoy life. And even if you were lucky enough to enjoy life, you might have carried some guilt because other people weren't. You are not actually helping humanity and others by denying yourself the pleasures that are available to you. It's not a question of rubbing your nose or other people's noses in it, right? It's a question of actually being in this form and enjoying life. And that is a fine tuning of your vibrational frequency that actually ripples out into the collective consciousness and gives other people permission to do the same. It also gives us resilience to deal with what's happening on the planetary level as well as in our personal lives, right? It is our experience that is going to be shifting everybody's experience, believe it or not. The change starts within, right? So key questions get to be, are you focusing on creating moments, days, experiences of pleasure for yourself? They can be free. It doesn't have to be 5-star luxury resorts, but that tapping into the sensuality and the pleasure of dancing, the pleasure of laying on the grass and just opening up and feeling the sun. Are you offering yourself enough of these moments? Take a deep breath in. If you are not, there's going to be more of the static. If you are, the energy gets to be the sparkle, right? So if you're finding yourself experiencing all of that static, all of that overwhelm, it's too much. The return to the senses, to moments of pleasure, to the presence field. This is the way that we can experience this so that we can be of service, so that we can support. There's also a theme of healing around sexuality in all ways, in all dimensions, ancestrally, in our present moment, in our relationships. And I just want to invite you to understand that sexuality is not just, our sexual expression, our sexual orientation. It's literally life force energy. It has been one of the most misunderstood creative forces. But our life force energy is wanting to come forward and become free of the distortions of all of that old stuff around it. So exploring this and knowing that as we explore as a collective, there is going to be stuff that's coming up to heal. And our life force energy, man, as we are exploring more freedom and expression, there are people on the other end of the spectrum, because we're still playing in such great duality, they're going to be trying to take it away from us, right? This is part of the journey, and it is the worst part to see the reactions, right? But all of it is playing out. All of it is being illuminated right now so that it can be healed. But the healing does happen on the internal place. We get to, if we're being called to do activism work, if we're being called to be the change, you get to come through a place of centeredness and presence in your own body. So you're not coming from a place of reactionary force, right? Coming into your presence field and your power, the power that comes from that alignment, the power that comes from being able to run energy and fine tune it so that the actions you take get to be aligned. Imagine if all of the work that we did was from that aligned place of connection with self, connection with the body, connection with each other, connection with the earth, connection with our highest self, connection with the unified field of creation. So the shift is connection in the sparkly energy. And then there's the disconnection, separation energy in the static. There's the duality between sovereignty and being a sovereign being who is also connected to everything, right? That paradoxical consciousness with subjugation, right? We are experiencing as a planet all of it right now. All of it. We are learning how to expand to witness and allow the things that are needing to be healed to be illuminated and revealed first. And once they are revealed, then we can do the shifting. And we are so powerful when we are in that energy of clarity, when we can tap into those higher frequency bandwidths of connection that feel sparkly, that are connected to all of our multidimensional wisdom, to pull it through, to be able to connect with the wisdom of our heart and the earth and the all that is. It's from that place of power and alignment that we can move forward to create this world that we are so excited to create. So it's the power of your choices and the power of dropping into your presence that's going to dictate for you your experience of the month of August as sparkle or static. So, sending you so much love, sending you so much capacity to tap into that sparkly energy. If you would like to join me in my free Facebook group to be in the conversation, to be in the presence field together, it's called Luminous Evolution, and there is a link below. And if you would like to know what my fastest path has been to really expanding into the presence field and being able to tap into that flow and feel those frequencies and that resonance in my body and be able to create from that place beyond just the mind and the constructs, but really through that flow of energy, I have created a resource for you that I have taught live many times, and I have fine-tuned it. So it is exactly what it needs to be. And I have now a course called Activate Your Light Language. It's actually 3 secrets to activating your light language so you can speak from the soul, that taps you into that presence field, that is available now for $11. You can go deeper into a 6-module ceremonial set of experiences where we really, really learn to tap into the field of connection, and we move all of the energies out of our field that are keeping us disconnected so we can be in flow and express our essence and be in that space and tap into our sensual life force energy and connection and all of that through the language of light and our soul tones. And that is an additional $88, which is incredible value. It is a self-study now instead of teaching it live. So these are available for you. You can check out the link below, and this would bring you more capacity to experience the sparkle. One of my students shared that when she activated her light language, she tapped into joy. And that is possible. Okay? There is magic available to us, but we get to do the work to become the clear channel to feel it. And that takes clearing on the emotional, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the action realms, all of it. And I do bring that inside the masterclass and the deeper 6 ceremony container. And that one has a lot of belief repatterning where we really shift a lot so that you can be more in your essence expression. And this is, I believe, one of the ways that we are able to bring our gifts through, right? How can you bring that light through that you are if you don't feel safe to express it? So, dear one, may August be sparkly. And if you fall into that staticky feeling of overwhelm, come back to the present moment. Return again and again and again, no matter how many times it takes. Continue the practice of returning to your presence field and your alignment and your senses, and allow the things that are there that feel heavy to flow through you, and get support if you need to. Sending you all of my love. Good luck.